I said it once and I'll say it again. I'm not much of a video maker. Definitely not a YouTube personality. I just like making these updates every now and then for people who are interested in what I do. As everybody knows, who knows me, that I drove down to Tuscaloosa, Alabama last May to buy this car from David Allen. And its original name was Rusty the Duke. I'm just going to do a walk around. From my understanding, as the story goes, what David told me, it might not be exactly true, or I'm just not going to remember correctly. This car was junked in 2005. It was sent to a junkyard somewhere down by Cottondale, Alabama. And it sat in that junkyard till 2009, I think is when David acquired it. He said he did some work for somebody, and something, this car was rendered in payment, despite it being in a junkyard. He likes these Buick Centuries, just like I do. So he took it, despite there being a huge animal nest under the hood, and it just being kind of ratty and wore out. And he brought it back to life. Well, let's just go ahead and fast forward a few years. He works on it periodically here and there. It runs, it drives. He doesn't put many miles on it. From what I understand, it looks like he put less than 200 miles on it in 9 years. Fast forward to 2018. I acquire it. Start talking to David through Facebook. And I inquire about this car again. I had inquired about it a few times before over the years, but he just wasn't ready to sell it, so I inquired again in 2017. And he says he'll think about it and everything goes well. We keep in regular touch. I have another Buick Century at the time. And a few things here and there. I acquire a couple other A-body cars just like this one, and then we're down to this one. Finally he gives me a number. We agree on it. I borrow a Chevy 1500, and me and my partner drive down to Alabama, pick it up, and haul it back. And then I get home and I immediately start working on it. Now, here we are in late March 2019, and I'm very close to wrapping up this project. Now, I don't like the paint. I did this myself. Just kind of, it's whatever. It's Rust-Oleum gray. It's better than the multiple colors it was. And you can see it's a little rough. But it's one color. I put the pinstripe on to give it more of a complete look. Put new tires on, new brakes on, new struts, new shocks. Completely rebuilt the interior. I just put a radiator and new coolant in it today because the old radiator was starting to leak. What else have I done? Full rebuild of the interior, like full rebuild. I had another 1986 Buick Century. The one that actually prompted me to contact David again and ask about this one. And its interior was in mint condition. Same model as this car, just a special. The interior is identical and spotless clean. I even did the headliner. Doesn't match perfectly, but it looks good. There are small things I've left that were original to this car, like the pitted door handles and small stuff. I wanted to remember where this car originally came from. A junkyard in Alabama. Mint condition door cards, everything. It's been a very tedious process swapping all this. Everything. The only thing I didn't swap was the dashboard itself. I don't mind the small crack there, but it's the other Buick Century was starting to warp a lot more than this one. Changed the instrumentation, all the plastic paneling, the seats, everything. Even the floor mats are original blue GM floor mats. Now, supposedly, this car only has about 50,000 miles on it at this point. I don't know the story of why this car was abandoned or how it ended up in the junkyard. I know very little about it. But what I can tell you is this is probably my most dependable car. and by far my favorite. I have a mint condition Chevy Celebrity, which I've videoed before, but to be honest, I don't care about it nearly as much. This is hard. Hold on. There we go. Put a lot of work in under here. David replaced the air conditioning. He did a small retrofit. The filter dryer was originally supposed to be right here, but he couldn't find a new evaporator to replace the one that was leaking that was original to this car, so he retrofitted it to be just like the V6 versions of this car, with the filter dryer down there. The air conditioning works amazing. You can see the brand new radiator I put in today. No leaks, no problems. I just put in a new exhaust manifold a few days ago. Real common for these to crack, and it needed to be replaced, so I put a new manifold and donut in. Replaced the EGR valve. What else? Battery. Just a lot of maintenance items, honestly. Valve cover gasket, and see, you see the brand new struts. Brand new struts. That's how many miles. I always note the mileage when I change the oil. That's what it had for me last August. I'd say it's probably about 47,000 now. See, I replaced from my parts car. I replaced the wiper motor. I got the squirters working again. That wasn't working. Oh geez, there's just a lot of little things. The car was originally silver. Now it's kind of this off gray. But the reason I went to Alabama for this car is because of how clean it is. I decided to junk my other Buick Century because of rust. So, let's peek up under here. Ugh. You can't buy a car this clean in this state. It just doesn't happen. I've still got to put a muffler on it, and I think next year, I also replaced the taillights from my other Buick because they were faded, kind of ratty. This is just a talking walk around, so don't expect anything exciting. Super, super clean. Just the cleanest body. It's in such nice shape. I don't drive it in the winter. It gets parked. But next year's goal is I'm going to strip it back down, and I'm going to get it repainted the original color so it doesn't look this goofy gunmetal gray I used. I just wanted it one color. It had a blue nose on it because David had to borrow the nose off it when a paint shop screwed up one of his on one of his other Buicks, but I don't mind. I matched it all together. You can see the original color here I left. That's the car's original color. You can see the gradient difference. I didn't know how to get the wipers off. Nobody would give me a straight answer. They just said pull. Well, pulling just doesn't work. They're kind of hard to get off. There's a real magic trick to getting them off. But I got them off, so since this video is already long, might as well just take it for a drive with the camera filming. Trying to get the dirt off my shoes. Didn't just spend all this time fixing it to filthy the interior. There we go. Starts up, purrs like a kitten. Before anybody comments, oh, you shouldn't film and drive, I'm not going to be exceeding 25 miles an hour. Literally just in my neighborhood, just using the church's playground as a quiet filming location. I have their permission, they don't mind. As long as I don't rut up anything or tear anything up, they don't care what I do. Very nice people here. Just such a nice driving car. After I replaced the suspension, excuse me, this car really dialed in after I did the suspension. There's still a lot of little stuff to do, honestly. It'll never be perfect. It is a 30-year-old car that was junked. But I have sure made it a nice car. I love this thing. The radio's not original. It's out of a LeSabre, but it looks close enough. Just the little details. This is such a nice car to drive. It's clean. It's very dependable. Everything works. David even pointed out once. I'll put the links in the description. Look at the pedals. Look at the... I know it's stupid sounding, but there's no wear and tear on that brake pedal. I really do believe this is a 50,000 mile car. This has been a long project. I'm going to see if I can get permission from David to assemble kind of like a collage video of the videos he made of what the car came from when he got it running to what I have it to today. I'll probably merge it in with some new footage. No talking, of course. This is purely just a vocal kind of blog update. But no, that's all there is to it. That is Rusty the Duke in 2019, a car junked in 2005 that probably should have been crushed, melted down, and turned into a Toyota. It's still here today. Anyway, thanks for listening to me ramble, those who find this interesting. Talk to you later.